My transphobic teacher was harassing me, so I humiliated her in front of the entire school. My teacher learned the hard way never to F with a teenage trans girl. Even if I wasn't trans, no teacher should ever be telling their students to take their own lives, and she deserved every ounce of humiliation I brought onto her. She was so bold with her hatred, so I wondered if I was the first queer student that she ever verbally abused like this. I knew that I needed to take her down in a way she would never forget, so she could understand that the queer community was not her punching bag, and that she couldn't be her nasty bigoted self anymore without repercussions. My teacher could have never guessed that I had recorded about 95% of her transphobic rants that she had been whispering to me in her class all year. As I mentioned in my first post, I had been selected to give a big presentation at the end of the year assembly. This wasn't the first time I had been given an important responsibility at a school assembly. I am a straight A student and I'm involved in a lot of different academic clubs, and all my other teachers really like me. So none of them could have assumed that I had a secret plan of revenge when I got up on stage that day. I decided to create a video compilation containing all of the worst highlights from my recordings. I included every single time that she told me to unalive myself and every single time she used disgusting slurs to try and hurt my feelings. When it was my time to present, I arranged with the tech students to play my video compilation directly after the main presentation was over, so that it would be seen by the entire school. When the video compilation started playing, people started whispering and slowly realized that it was a teacher at our school speaking in the footage. No one interrupted the presentation, and the school staff let my video play completely through. After it finished, it was completely silent in the auditorium for a full minute before one student stood up and let out a loud boo. This led to the entire auditorium exploding into a frenzy of boos, all directed at my transphobic teacher. My teacher was at the assembly, of course, and she ended up running out crying. I saw her soon after that after the assembly was over, since my principal called us both into his office to get the full story. She immediately tried to backpedal. She even tried to accuse me of framing her. I asked her how could I have framed her when everybody had just heard the proof of you harassing one of your students for the entire year. That's when my teacher started to have what seemed like a full-on mental breakdown and started screaming at the principal for letting some little T completely ruin her like that. My principal started telling her to calm down and that she was acting inappropriately, telling her that her behavior wasn't acceptable for an educator. That's when she gestured to me and said that I was the one behaving unacceptably since I was lying about who I was in the first place. She was breathing hard and this big vein in her forehead kept getting bigger. She turned to me and said that I was just some stupid little boy and that I deserved to be embarrassed just like her. I could not believe what I was experiencing when my teacher literally lunged at me and tried to pull my skirt down. My principal had to literally jump over his desk so he was able to restrain her in time before she ripped my skirt completely down. I knew this woman was out of her mind, but I never thought that she would go as far as to attack me, especially in front of her boss. I guess she knew she had lost her job anyway, and all she cared about at that moment was trying to get back at me. Luckily, my principal told me to leave his office for my safety and told the secretary to call the police. They ended up arresting my teacher for assault, and I have decided that not only am I going to press charges on her for attacking me, but also for all the discrimination she put me through. So, let me reiterate, never F with a teenage trans girl.